World Video Game Hall of Fame is at the Strong National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York.
The Strong is the home to the world's largest collection of toys, dolls, games, and video games, 70,000 video games and video game-related artifacts. So the World Video Game Hall of Fame needs to be here.
Video games are the key aspect of play in our time. They take art and play and story, merge it with technology in ways that are revolutionary.
Whether you're playing on a computer with someone across the world or you're playing on a mobile device, games are pervasive in our lives.
Video games have been amusing and exciting players for decades.
This is the Strong's cathedral to video games, our temple to technology, and the largest museum space in the whole world dedicated to exploring the history of video games because they are a totally unique medium.
Even though we have tens of thousands of games at the Strong, just a select few will be in the World Video Game Hall of Fame, where we're celebrating the most important and most influential games of all time.
In order to be inducted into the World Video Game Hall of Fame, video games need to meet 4 key criteria: icon status, geographical reach, longevity, and influence.
Icon status, these are games that are instantly recognizable. A person on the street knows who Super Mario Bros. Is. These are games that your grandmother, your grandfather, and your kids probably know.
With geographical reach, these are the games that go beyond just one country. These are games that are popular all over the world.
A game with longevity has withstood the test of time. It's more than just a passing fad, but has remained popular over the years.
With influence, it's a game that shapes not only gaming, but sometimes culture or how we look at the world in general. When we play a certain game and all of a sudden we see the world differently because we play that game, then we know the game has influence.
For a game to be inducted into the World Video Game Hall of Fame,
It's a huge honor. These games are going to be remembered forever.
You're the bee's knees. You have summited Mount Everest. You have had the ultimate achievement.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2026 induction ceremony of the World Video Game Hall of Fame. I'm John Paul Dyson, Senior Vice President for Exhibits and Interpretive Resources here at the Strong, and with my colleagues, I'd like to welcome you to today's event. This morning, we gather to honor the 12th class of the Hall of Fame and to celebrate how video games have shaped the way we play across geographic boundaries in our own lives. We believe video games are the most important medium of the 21st century, combining cultural influence with deep technological advances that make them a really compelling medium for our day. The World Video Game Hall of Fame launched in 2015 to recognize the best and most influential games of all time. Those which stand the test of time, which have changed the industry, or redefined storytelling, art, and play, and sometimes all of these things. To date, 49 games, a select group, have made it into the Hall of Fame. And the program continues to grow in other ways as well. In 2023, we opened this impressive rotunda as a permanent home for the World Video Game Hall of Fame as part of ESL Digital Worlds. And we're grateful to our friends from ESL who are here today to join us. Thank you. Now, I'm excited for you all to meet today's 4 inductees and to hear from some of the amazing executives, designers, and creators who help make these games and represent the companies that develop them. After today's ceremonies, my colleagues and I will be available to talk for interviews and to talk about the honorees. And now, the moment we're waiting for, to welcome our first game, I'd like to ask my colleague Lindsay Carano to come to the stage. Lindsay?
Hi, good morning. My name is Lindsay Carano, and I am the curator for electronic games. We begin today by inducting a game that took the Western RPG formula and streamlined it to consoles. The golden triangle of its game designer, artist, and composer made this game iconic from the onset. School children and adults alike fell in love with its gameplay, and many consider it the prototypical Japanese role-playing game. The first inductee into the World Video Game Hall of Fame, and a personal favorite of mine, is Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest, the grandfather of the Japanese role-playing game, transformed complicated Western computer RPGs into a more accessible style suitable for consoles. Released in 1986, it subtly blended beautiful art, dynamic story, and memorable music. The narrative structure that writer Yuji Horii designed prioritized player choice by opening new paths in the adventure, culminating in the game's final encounter with the evil Dragon Lord, who offers players half the world to abandon their quest. Dragon Quest translated the complicated demands of Western computer role-playing games to the more limited input controls of consoles by replacing sequences of keyboard inputs with a simplified system of multi-layered, windowed menus that facilitated player choice and enabled non-linear storytelling. Sequels to the game followed. They were so popular, the story goes, that Enix shifted the release day from Thursday, standard for Nintendo games, to Saturday, so kids wouldn't skip school to get the game. It's no wonder it was so successful, for Dragon Quest merged fun, accessible design with rich and complex storytelling, art, and music.
And now for a special video from Dragon Quest franchise creator Yuji Horii.
皆さんこんにちは。ゲームデザイナーの堀裕二です。この度は栄誉ある世界ビデオゲーム殿堂にドラゴンクエストを選んでいただき、本当にありがとうございます。今から40年前、最初のドラクエを作った時は、こんな日が来るとは夢にも思っていませんでした。当時はただ、驚かせたい、ワクワクさせたいという一心で、限られた世の中でも大冒険を描いてみようと頑張っていました。あの頃の自分たちに、40年後、アメリカで殿堂入りしようと言っても、きっと信じてもらえないでしょうね。秘策を共にした漫画家の鳥山明さん、作曲家の杉山浩一さん、プログラマーの中村浩一さん、そして何よりもゲームを遊んでくれた世界中のプレイヤーの皆さんに心から感謝します。人生はロールプレイングです。皆さんの人生という冒険がこれからも驚きと喜びに満ちたものでありますように、本当にありがとうございました。
Hi, I'm Jeremy Saucier, Vice President for Interpretation and Electronic Games here at The Strong. Our next inductee became a global gaming juggernaut. It got all the details right, exemplifying developer Electronic Arts' marketing slogan, if it's in the game, it's in the game. Right? We all know it. So by kicking and slide tackling its way into millions of gamers' hearts, it launched one of the best-selling, most enduring sports video game franchises of all time. Our next inductee into the 2026 class of the World Video Game Hall of Fame is FIFA International Soccer.
FIFA International Soccer was not the first sports simulation video game, nor even the first one about soccer, but it launched the most popular sports game franchise of all time, with sales bolstered by annual releases from publisher EA. Given soccer's worldwide popularity, FIFA had a larger global imprint than other sports titles, such as Madden. When FIFA first came out in 1993 for the Sega Genesis, it charmed fans with an isometric view that looked like television coverage. True to EA's approach with other sports games, the company secured a licensing agreement from the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, FIFA, soccer's governing body, thus ensuring it had worldwide name recognition. The game was an instant success. Despite launching in December of 1993, it became the best-selling title that year in Europe, selling more than 500,000 copies. Successive releases in the series racked up millions in sales, generating a high percentage of EA's net profits. EA made systematic, incremental upgrades each year to bring greater realism to the game's graphics, play, and strategy, ensuring it remained the most popular soccer title out there.
FIFA, right? And now, for a special video from Nick Vladica, Senior Vice President and General Manager for EA Sports FC.
Hi, I'm Nick Vladica, SVP and Group GM of EA Sports FC, and I'm here to speak to EA Sports FIFA International Soccer being inducted into the 2026 class of the World Video Game Hall of Fame. This incredible honor gave us a chance to reflect on where this all began back in 1993 when EA Sports launched a football video game that would change everything, and the place that it now holds in football gaming and entertainment culture. The game brought energy and a global perspective to the world's game in a way players hadn't ever seen. For over 30 years, we at EA Sports FC have focused on creating the most authentic, innovative, and at the end of the day, set of fun football experiences. It's always about doing this for our global community of players, and that holds true to this day. On behalf of everyone at EA Sports, thank you for honoring the history and impact of our franchise. We're immensely grateful to our global team, past and present, that have built this game into what it is, and to the players that have been part of this journey of interactive football fandom every step of the way. We carry this forward as inspiration for everything we still want to build with our fans and our partners as we embark on the future of football and EA Sports FC. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrew, Director of Digital Preservation here at The Strong. The next title redefined what horror could be in a video game. Its setting, a small town, cold, snowy, and foggy. A setting that is all too relatable to so many of us around the world, even sometimes here in Rochester. But the horror in this game is one of unease. It feels personal. It's as much about our own fears and grief as it is about the monsters that took over the town and beyond. The sounds were all too familiar too. Footsteps that seem just out of reach, and radio static that seems to come at the worst of times. Then there is the fear of choice. The choices you make impact not just what you play, but the very fabric of the world around you. While elements of the game's ending remain up for debate even today, what is not up for debate is that the next game inducted into the World Video Game Hall of Fame class of 2026 is Silent Hill.
What makes a game scary? Silent Hill pushed the boundaries of the horror genre with innovative 3D graphics, a dynamic camera, and an emphasis on psychological intensity and brooding dread. To survive is to succeed in Silent Hill, but it takes a lot to survive, and the game's multiple endings ensure that a sense of lurking horror lingers, even after the last button is pressed. The game is set in a small American town, as reimagined by Japanese producer and director Keiichiro Toyama and his team. Classic horror tropes like religious cults, the undead, and impenetrable fog generate fear, intensified by the player's limited range of vision, which made a virtue of the challenges of rendering real-time 3D environments with the Sony PlayStation. Composer and sound director Akira Yamaoka cleverly layered a haunting soundtrack with other sonic cues, such as static from a pocket radio that signaled nearby monsters. Talk about a scary advanced warning system. Silent Hill sold more than 2 million copies, generated sequels across many systems, and even inspired 3 movies because it took horror games in new, psychological directions that engaged players' emotions as much as their reflexes.
My name is Christy Heisert, and I'm the Director for Collections Management. So for the final inductee, this game helped launch the mobile gaming revolution. This transformative game turned the cell phone, or the iPod Touch, into a plaything, so players could continue honing their skills wherever they went. With an iconic cast of characters and downloads by the billions, our final inductee is Angry Birds.
Launched in 2009, Angry Birds was the first breakout game for smartphones. Since then, people have spent tens of billions of hours flinging brightly colored birds at buildings constructed by egg-thieving pigs. At its core, Angry Birds is delightfully simple. Hurl a bird from the slingshot to knock down the pig's precariously balanced structures. A quick video intro sets the story, then users start playing. No lengthy tutorial necessary. Like most good games, success is harder than it looks, as players master increasing levels of difficulty. Bright colors, whimsical characters, and catchy music make the game fun to play for minutes, or hours. The iPhone had debuted only 2 years before the launch of Angry Birds, and the game familiarized new smartphone users with swiping, tapping, and playing as they completed each level. Rovio skillfully marketed the game, tempting players with a free Angry Birds Lite version, cleverly promoting it on social media, merchandising Angry Birds-themed toys and stuffed animals, and even making a major motion picture. As the game that helped launch not only billions of birds, but the entire mobile gaming revolution, Angry Birds deepened people's relationships with the palm-sized devices in their purses and pockets.
And now I'd like to welcome a special guest, Ben Mattis, creative director for Angry Birds at Rovio Entertainment. It's heavier than it looks.
Well, thank you very much. On behalf of everyone at Rovio and Sega, thank you very much for this honor. And on a personal note, thank you for having me back. I discovered this museum by happenstance last summer. I was driving through with my sons on a road trip, and we came in, and like my eyes were wide like a kid in a candy shop, and I'm so happy to have an opportunity to come back. So you've got a special place here, and I hope you all know it. You know, Angry Birds is 17 and change, and I'm not the original creator of Angry Birds. Myself and the team at Rovio and Sega, we're stewards of this IP. That's how we look at it. And you know, that stewardship comes with a great responsibility to the legacy of this title. I imagine most of you probably know what Angry Birds is. You've probably played it at some point in time. Some of you might even have memories or stories about Angry Birds. We know that many players in our community and many people in the world do have that nostalgic association with this IP. And we try every day to honor that, while at the same time making a new movie that's coming out this year and making new games and like all of these other things that try and, you know, move that IP forward. And I would say that almost every single game that was inducted, every IP that was inducted into the Hall of Fame today shares that challenge. And so to all of the games and to all of the award winners, I would say congratulations, and may we all continue to honor our past and move these beloved IPs forward into the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ben. So it's official. The inductees into the 2026 class of the World Video Game Hall of Fame are Dragon Quest, FIFA International Soccer, Silent Hill, and Angry Birds. My colleagues and some of our special guests will be available for media questions and interviews, and you're welcome to film and play some of the inducted games throughout the World Video Game Hall of Fame in ESL Digital Worlds. Thank you so much for coming, and congratulations to the 2026 class into the Strong's World Video Game Hall of Fame.